welcome back to 16th RC Tank Workshop. In today's episode I'll show you a little bit more progress with the Tigers. I've been working on the front mantlet, adding the extra gunner's sight hole and profiling the stepped holes in the gunner sights. I've also done some work on the fire extinguisher. I'm at sea at the moment. I'm on a ferry from my home country Ireland to Britain, heading for Wales and then on through to Southampton in the south of England. I'll be picking up another tank to add to the Armortek collection. I won't say what it is yet, it's not a Tiger. So hopefully this evening we'll get to have a look at that. After I pick up the tank this evening, I'll go to my hotel and then tomorrow I'll go down to Bovington Tank Museum for some more photos and video. So stay tuned to see what the new tank is. It's a lot of work putting these videos together, it's very time consuming. So please give me a bit of inspiration to continue by hitting that subscribe button. Every subscription is appreciated. Here's a new part I've made for the Tiger 1. It's a Tetra fire extinguisher. It's made in aluminium and brass. I'll fit it with 2 small screws and it'll be mounted in this position. Let's have a closer look. It's a nice amount of detail on this. I'm happy enough with this part now. And here's another small part I've made. It's an indicator for the rear plate of the Tiger 1. Fits down near the bottom. I'll just have to make a small red indicator lens to fit in, and then I'll fit that as well. And onto the mantlet. Looking at the mantlet, I've plugged up the hole for the MG. As being a PANZER, it didn't have a coaxial MG. The space in the turret of the PANZER contained radio equipment instead. Much of the radio equipment from the radio operator position was transferred to the turret, and additional radio equipment fitted in the radio operator position. The mantlet on my Tiger 1 only has 1 gunner sight hole. It should have 2 holes as the Early Tiger had a binocular sight. I will modify the mantlet to add a second hole. Also, the hole was stepped from small openings on the inside to wide openings on the outside to allow a wider field of view. Also, this mantlet has the extra armour. I'm not sure if this model that I'm building had the extra armour, but I'm going to leave it on as I prefer this version. Rather than drilling into the mantlet, I'm just going to make the holes 10mm wide, and I'm going to make a brass insert that will fit into these openings. I'll do this on the Lathe and Milling machine. I'm reducing a piece of 12mm brass bar to 10mm. Once I've done this, I'll drill a 2mm hole straight through, and I'll cut off at 18.5mm. I'm milling out the first hole with an 8mm end mill to a depth of 6mm. For the next cut, I'm using a 6mm end mill, and I'll go to a depth of 4mm. And finally a 3.5mm end mill to a depth of 3.5mm. Now I hope you can see the steps in this part. I'll make 2 of these and fit them to the mantlet. I've plotted a position 14mm from the centre of the original hole, and I've made my first 10mm hole in the mantlet. Now I'll go back 14mm to widen the original hole. And here you can see the inserts fitted. I've glued them in place. I've also added some extra texturing to the mantlet. I fitted the fire extinguisher to its place. Next, I'll make a decal and fit it to this position. So here's the new tank. It's PANZER 3. It has motors installed, but none of the electronics are connected. So I have to try and manhandle it out of the car. At least the PANZER 3 is small enough to fit in the boot with plenty of space to spare. Unlike the Tiger, I have to drop the seats down, and carrying passengers is not possible with the Tiger 1. But with the PANZER 3 or the PANZER 4, it should be easy enough, especially the PANZER 3. The vehicle fits in sideways, room even for the ramps. And that's it, out of the car. tank museum ready for Santa arriving on Saturday. It's getting good clean. So today I'm here to get some more measurements from the PANZER tree. I'll be able to get detailing the new addition to the collection. Just to walk through the tank hall. And here we have the PANZER tree. So here we have the PANZER tray, finally in the workshop. This is a 2008 Armortek model, so it'll have some features of the earlier productions from Armortek. There's quite a bit of steel, top of the turret, top deck. This has a tendency to get some corrosion. This model was very well built, but it's been sitting in a cabinet for a number of years. It's been gathering some dust and dirt, so it'll need a really good cleanup. There's very light corrosion on some of the steel, but it won't be difficult to remove that. I've worked on these old Armortek models before and I found they always clean up really well. You can see some of the light corrosion. Mainly dirt and grime from lying for a long time. I think these are Armortek hatches. Turret moves really freely. The motor is installed, but none of the electrics are connected up. One of the things I like about the PANZER tray, the hatches give very good access to the interior for getting at electrics. I'm not worried about the hinges. I'll be changing most of these hinges. I might even change some of the decks and rebuild in aluminium. The model as is represents an L version, and I'll probably go with an L version. So stay tuned to the channel for more updates on how we get on with the Panzer III. Hopefully soon we'll get it stripped down, cleaned, and get the basic hull rebuilt. This Panzer III model offers lots of scope for modifications and extra components. So please stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. More coming soon. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions so far. Keep them coming. I still have another Armortek model still in its boxes. I haven't said what that is yet, but stay tuned and we'll see soon.